ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Text number 15 and 16. मृदंग शंख भ्रेयश्च वीणा पणवगो मुखाः धुधुद्री आनक घंटाद्य नेदुर्दुन्दुभयश्च तथा। मृदंग शंख भ्रेयश्च वीणा पणवगो मुखाः दुदुद्री आनक घंटाद्य नेदुर्दुन्दुभयस्तथा। मृदंग sweet sounding drum, shankha conch shell, bhreya brass band, cha and Veena, string band. Panava, a kind of flute. Gomukhaha, another flute. Dunduri, another drum. Anaka, kettle. Ghanta, bell. Adya, others. Neduhu, sounded. Dundubhayaha, other different types of drums. Tatha, at that time. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapura, different types of drums like the Vridanga, Dhol, Nagara, Dunduri and Dundubi, and flutes of different types, the Veena, Gomukha and Bheri, all sounded together to show him honor. Please repeat. While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapura, different types of drums like the Mridanga, Dhola, Nagara, Dunduri, Dudumbi, and flutes of different types, the Veena, Gomukha, and Bheri, all sounded together to show him honor. Purport. Oh, no purport. Go to the next. Prasada Shikhara Rudhaha Kuru Naryo Didrikshaya Vavrashu Kusumai Krishnam Prema Vidas Mitekshanaha. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on top of the palace and, smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Purport. Shyness is a particular extra-natural beauty of the fair sex, and it commands respect from the opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of the Mahabharata, that is, more than 5,000 years ago. It is only the less intelligent persons, not well versed in the history of the world, who say that observation of separation of female from male is an introduction of the Mohammedan period in India. This incident from the Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parda, restricted association with men, and instead of coming down in the open air where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up to the top of the palace and from there paid their respects to Lord Krishna by showers of flowers. It is definitely stated here that the ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of a less important family or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this fact. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting a lady's shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. Human civilization, as conceived by the sages of India, is to help one free himself from the clutches of illusion. The material beauty of a woman is an illusion because actually the body is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is an association of the living spark with matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even it is most perfectly prepared to attract the attention of others. The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept the dead body of a so-called beautiful woman. Therefore, the conclusion is that the spirit spark is beautiful, and because of the soul's beauty, one is attracted by the beauty of the outward body. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, forbids us to be attracted by false beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of women and men. They say that woman is considered to be the fire and the man is considered to be the butter. The butter must melt in association with fire, and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift and it must be utilized. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिके नामिने नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिके नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मृदंग शंख भ्रेयश्च वीणा पणवगो मुखाः धुंधुरी आनक घंटाद्या Nedurudundubhayasthatha. While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapur, different types of drums like the Mridanga, Dhola, Nagara, Dhunduri and Dhundubi, and flutes of different types, the Veena, Gomukha and Bheri, all sounded together to show him honor. Prasada Shikararudaha Guru Naryo Didrikshaya Vavrashu Kusumai Krishnam Prema Vrida Mitekshanaha. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, royal ladies of the Kurus got up on the top of the palace and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Suta Goswami is now further describing that when Krishna was about to depart for Dwarka, what was the scene at Hastinapur? First he talks about different types of drums and flutes, the veena, all being blown together. Actually, there are so many percussion instruments. We just generally know of only Mridangam and Tabla maybe. But there is a Dhol, Nagada, Dundubi, so many varieties. Sometimes they have some orchestra and they play different things. But most of them are gone out of fashion. Now only it is Tabla. Tabla with the general masses and Mridangam with devotees. Devotees play Mridangam. Sometimes they have this djembe, come from Africa and so many different items. Of course, they are all playing at that time for honoring Krishna. And then in the next one, Prabhupada describes in the length, about the shyness of a woman. Prasada, Shikhara, the roof of the palace. Kuru Narya, ladies of the Kuru royalty. Vrida Smita Ikshanaha. That's the point. Glancing with shy smiles. How? With prema. And Kusuma is flower. Kusuma is flower. So, Prabhupada helps us understand that how this system of women not coming into open was there even during Mahabharata. Sometimes people say that when Mohammedans came, they introduced this veil, But if you see in the old Indian villages, even now, the women will cover their face, and when especially men other than their own husbands come in front of them, then they cover half the face, sometimes full face. And shyness of a woman is really worth discussing, because a woman is supposed to be as a nature very shy. But now we see Prabhupada says half-naked woman in the streets, almost three-fourths naked, not even half. And they have no shame. They don't even wear as per the weather, I mean, weather is something else. Like DC always says that it is so funny that men are always covered, especially in America, and women are naked, like half naked. You don't see many men walking on the street with, without anything on. Sometimes, of course, some bodybuilders may try to do that, but generally men are covered and women are, irrespective, as I said, irrespective of weather. Only when it becomes extremely cold, they wear something. Otherwise, Now, for example, winter is almost there, but hardly anybody comes to ask in the shop whether they have some winter clothing. They're still looking for their small, tiny thing. So this shyness, I was just listening to one class, and the shyness was described so nicely. The shyness, the height of shyness. Like here, Prabhupada gives the example of a sweeper woman. She's covered herself, and then her shyness earns her respect. So this was one instance that what is the level of shyness of a Indian woman or a Vedic woman. So it was described that a woman, a maid servant, coming from a very low class society, very poor society, I would say. I'm not say low class society. So she's washing these pots in the courtyard of the building, and somebody on the third floor through the window, he casually just comes to the window, and when he sees that woman there, so this woman immediately, her this pallu had just gone a little asunder, so she corrects it, Now she has not seen this man, but she is so careful that she knows that somebody might be there somewhere in the building, watching. So she covers herself, little, whatever was exposed. So that's the height of shyness, and that gives women a very high position. And that's why people, of course, talk about this women liberation and so on. That's gone now. Nobody discusses that, because women are now more liberated than men. They do everything that a man can do, and much more. So when people say that women are not treated properly, here we see woman is supposed to be, and in many families, I won't say everywhere, but wherever they know, she's treated like a Lakshmi. She's called as Lakshmi. She's the one. Because of her, the Lakshmi in the house grows. So she's, and she's like a precious jewel. So we don't throw a precious jewel in the street and say, oh, get liberated. If you have a precious jewel at home, what do? You keep it in a very safe place. The same way, a woman was kept very safe. No need of going to work, husband and wife working. Husband is already making $70,000-$80,000, and the wife also wants to make. For what? So that they don't have to cook at home. She doesn't have to cook at home because she finds it better to go to a office and chit chat with people and so on, rather than cook at home, take care of the children. Children are in the baby care, daycare, whatever. And that's it. In the baby care, all they do is just, play, and there's no education, no samskara, no culture. Nothing has been taught about our own culture. They just so this is the modern life. This is the advanced, and then they say, okay, all they do is just make this money and go to India and buy some property. Buy this land, that land, this flat, that flat. That's all. So we have to understand that women's role is, of course, if it is needed, we are not against it. If it is needed, if the not enough income, then maybe sometime, but nowadays it's all the other way around. The girls are highly educated. It's a good thing. But then the problems are more because of that, not less. The number of divorces and everything has gone up tremendously because the girls started demanding more than anybody thought of. So, especially if they are both working, it's so difficult to manage. And that's the cause of downfall of many countries, where this joint family system is broken. Anyway, it's a long subject matter. Here we understand that the ladies came and they showered flowers on Krishna from the top, because when they are at that distance, nobody can see them so clearly, like when you are face to face. So there is no eye contact. Thank you very much. If there is any comment, question, we can talk.
I just want to think whether you're saying that due to education for women, the higher rate of divorce. Is that correct?
That's true. Because earlier, women knew that he is going to be the husband and, she is dependent on him. So they will adjust. They will have problems, but they will adjust and she will know that, okay, this is my limit. So, but now, who the hell the husband is, The child is born, they even have timing. Okay, you change the nappy, I change the nappy. You have in the morning, I have in the like that. So everything is at equal footing, and man is Purusha. So that ego is always there, a little ego. That's also wrong, but at the same time, the women sometimes carry too much. That's where the problem starts. Or
women should be educated.
They should be educated. So education doesn't mean job. Education for job and education for self-realization. Education for expanding. Definitely, women must be educated. But as I said, not necessary to get educated for working in some factories and here and there. That's the point. Yeah. Educated, yes, definitely. They should be. They can become good preachers. They are. In our society, there are many women who are wonderful preachers. They can do so many good jobs, good things, not jobs, good things. But this 9 to 5, 9 to 8, or working overtime and no time for cooking.
Was that also where I was thinking about this like a non-zodiac, that's just something in the sense that the fact that some of the biggest human rights violations in the world are actually against a lot of women in India, as far as things like prostitution and also things like that you don't call them like dowries and things like you make stories of they're on a dowry, they kill the family, they kill the woman. So how do we understand that such a great culture is a culture? And that respect women, but at the same time,
that Vedic culture.
Women are highly not just disrespected, but they're
because people are not following the Vedic culture. It used to be there, but that's what I'm saying. Now it's all agriculture, no Vedic culture. Everything is as per Western now. Western norms are the standard. They are there. Because they see, they are seeing all these channels and friends and this serials, and so they see all this society here, and they think, what the heck? Why can't we be like that? That's why now in big cities, especially, all these clubs and dances and this and that, parties and orgies and everything is happening now.
Or even is it in the sense that sometimes in Indian culture that people follow Spartanic culture.